Hello everyone, Deb Floros, guest designer for Rings and Things. I love these half-inch leather cuffs. They are ready to wear with two snaps so they fit two different sizes. And I've got three different colors here, and I thought it might be fun to play around with a texture pad and some paint. Now, this is not a perfect project by any stretch of the imagination, but I thought I would show you this just so that you can see what might be possible for this kind of a project. This is really fun, might be a fun project to do with some family members or friends. Now, those texture pads come in a pack of two. They're two different patterns, and they're Lisa Pavelka brand. Now I'm laying down my first cuff, and I've selected some patina paint by Vintage. There are a couple of colors available at Rings and Things, but the colors I'm using are out of stock and these paints are discontinued. So you could use some leather paint or some other kind of paint, but I'm not worried about acrylic paint cracking on these cuffs because we're just adding a very small coat of this paint. Now I'm painting onto the texture pad, and then I'm pressing the cuff down onto the pad. Now you'll see I've got quite a bit of excess paint in some of the places. So I certainly haven't perfected that technique just yet, but once I finished up that cuff, I brushed off that pad, cleaned it up quickly so that I could get most of that paint off. Now I'm going to try my hand at the other pad. This one's a neat texture as well. I've got a different color paint and a different color cuff this time. And this one, I wasn't crazy about how this one came out either, but I think part of the problem with this first round that I did was that I actually kind of slid the cuff a little bit around on the pad a little too much, so it smeared a bit. And this last one really smeared a lot. And I oriented the pad a little bit differently in the second round, and I think that worked a little bit better. This one really smudgy, but still fun, colorful. There's some interesting pattern on it, so still a fun exercise to give this a try. And I did like that they, looked organic and artsy. You want to let the paint dry for sure before you try and put these on. Now this time I decided that I would work lengthwise on the pad, and that will cover more of that void, empty space on the cuff between the snaps. So I pressed down again, used the same technique. I tried to blot off some of the excess paint. So this was a little bit more successful the second time, not perfect by any stretch. And I still had to press onto the texture pad to get those ends before the snaps. Then you'll also have to press in between the snaps and at the very ends of the leather. And you can use a paper towel to wipe off whatever paint might get onto those snaps. So I was really careful to try not to get an overage of paint. It's a little bit tough. I'm sure there's a technique to it. I am going to try my hand at making some more of these and try and perfect this a little bit more. But I do like how this last one came out. It's bright, it's fun, it looks festive for the spring and summer. So I'm going to make some more of these. This was a really fun project. I'm hoping this will at least inspire you to give something like this a try. You just need the pads, the cuffs, and some paint, and you can make some fun, colorful cuffs. You can find the pads and the cuffs at ringsandthings.com. There are a couple of colors in the Vintage patina paints available, so you can pick those up at Rings and Things as well. Check out this last one. Still a little overage of paint there, but I do like that turquoise color on the brown. I hope this inspires you to play with some leather cuffs and paint and texture pads. Thanks so much for watching.